Good. I heard it too. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests, and welcome to our Queen City Toastmasters meeting. My name is Connor Waite. I'm our Sergeant of Arms, and I now call this meeting to order. Tomorrow is the first day of March Madness, and it's also the last day to fill out your brackets. So can anyone guess the odds of getting a perfect bracket?
250 million.
Almost. It's a little bit more. A little bit more than that. It is 9.2 quintillion to 1. That is the odds of getting a perfect bracket. That is via my Google search 5 minutes ago. So that could be, a little skewed. But if you do get a perfect bracket, you have the chance of getting $1 million from the Warren Buffett tournament that he has going on. So, it's always worth a shot. You never know. So, best of luck to everyone who's entered. There is a chance. And with that, I would like to hand it off to Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Connor. So I am the presiding officer today because all of our higher ranked officers are off doing other things. So welcome to our March 15th Toastmasters, Queen City Toastmasters meeting. A couple of quick announcements before I turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Elvis, who's online. First, for our members, I've sent out a couple of reminders about dues, so I'm going to make that plug one more time, which is our semi-annual dues are due tomorrow. If you can't make by tomorrow, we have one more week until the 22nd. So a week from tomorrow, or today rather, is when I would love to see final payments made. If we don't have those payments, then the implication will be we can't sign you up for roles for the next meeting. So keep that in mind. If you are absolutely passionate about having a role at the 29th meeting, then try to get those dues in by the 22nd. That will make sure that I can then get our payment out to Toastmasters International, and that is a requisite for us maintaining our distinguished club status. So it actually does matter that we pay things online. That is the first announcement. The second is a congratulations to two of our Toastmasters, Andrea and Eric, who at our area competition both won their respective events. So congratulations to you both. They will now be representing us in the district tournament or competition, which I'm not sure the date associated with that. Vision. Okay, and when is that? Next month. Okay. So this is fantastic to have representation from Queen City Toastmasters. Those of you who are guests today, there is a twice a year competition associated with speaking events. And so this is our first time doing it in person again. I think for a while it's been Zoom. So it's been a fantastic opportunity to showcase the talents that we have within this club. So congratulations to both of them. All right, with that, I will turn it over to our guests to introduce themselves. All right, we have 3 guests today. First, we have Joy. So if you can just quickly introduce yourself again and then talk about, you maybe did this last time, but maybe what brought you back to Toastmasters from last time?
My name is Joy Mitchell, and I have a fear of public speaking, and I was here last week, and I'm ready to join.
To face it.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Welcome, Joy. All right, this actually maybe have another guest. Neil, is this your first time here?
First time in person.
Okay, but you've been on Zoom.
Online.
All right, well, I will introduce you as well then.
Hello, everyone. My name is Neil. I've been online a couple of meetings before this, and I'm here for a very similar reason. Wanted to become more comfortable with public speaking. So thanks for having me.
All right. Welcome, Neil. All right, then we have Casey in person as well.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I came a few weeks back. I missed last week, but I wanted to come again so I could sign up and continue practicing public speaking, getting more comfortable at it. And I really enjoyed last meeting, so I was impressed with everybody's abilities and I think it'll be a good place to learn.
All right. And then, sorry, one more, Daryl.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Daryl. Same, this is my first time here. I have no idea what to expect. I just want to, I guess like everybody else, improve my public speaking skills because I'm a little insecure about the way that I speak. So that's the reason I'm trying to like really get better at it. So again, I don't know what to expect. But
Awesome. Well, you'll expect, or you will come to find this is a safe space to practice public speaking. You'll get to see people who've been doing it for a while and see their growth as well. And some of us are relatively new. So welcome. We look forward to having you participate today. All right. How about online? Do we have any guests online? Elvis, have you found any?
I see Chua.
Hey, hi, it's my first time. I'm excited also. Jane is also on here and she and I kind of jump in together. We're part of the WIN program and we're learning about professional development and public speaking is something that, you know, I need to work on. So that's why I'm here also.
Awesome. Welcome. And anybody else?
Aline, is it Aline? Are you a guest?
Excuse me. Yeah, Alan. Yeah, my name is Alan Kimayu. This is my second time, and yeah, I'm trying to just to be able to speak up and be comfortable speaking anywhere and about any topic that I have the knowledge of, and yeah, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. So welcome. We have one more.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jane. Like Chua, we're in the same program right now at the Carolina FinTech Hub. I've done public speaking before, but it doesn't mean that I still don't get extremely nervous and could definitely refine those skills. So I thought this was an awesome opportunity to work on that while I'm here in Charlotte.
Awesome. Fantastic. And then one more, Edna, if you're online and ready to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, I can't come on camera right now, but my name is Edna. I heard about Toastmasters from a friend who had been through the program, and I decided to check it out. So today is my first time.
All right, perfect. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so we have a lot of guests today. At the end of the meeting, I will also come back around and I will ask for feedback and observations or things that you took away from the meeting. So more to come on that. With that, I will now get our meeting started by introducing our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Elvis, who is our VP of Education. And I will turn it over to you, Toastmaster Elvis.
Thank you, Jamie. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It is a pleasure for me to be the Toastmaster of the night. Our theme tonight is Spring is in the air. Each and every year, the end of winter brings us into a season of beauty and metamorphosis that we know as spring. Whether love is in the air or the dancing aromas of fresh flowers filling your nose, there are many reasons why we look forward to spring with enthusiasm. It's a time of the year when nature promises new life, new hopes, and definitely spring is one of the favorite seasons of many. It is, in fact, one of my favorite seasons. For our meeting tonight, we will have a group of collaborators that will be helping us lead the meeting. And I will be honored to call them now and present to you our list of collaborators, starting with our joke master of the night, who is none other than Toastmaster John Capello. Please help me welcome our joke master tonight.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and all the many guests that we have joining here this evening. Now, let me clarify a little bit something about this role. Thank you, Toastmaster Elvis, for that introduction. We clarify this as a joke master / inspirational master. And tonight I'm going to choose the inspirational master, as those that know me know that that's something I love to do. I wish I could. Usually I like to say something inspirational that's in keeping with tonight's spring, but this is an oldie but a goodie that maybe only David might recall, but I'm going to share it with you tonight. It is one of my favorites. There was a little boy, and he was practicing to learn how to ride a bike. It was springtime. He kept getting on his bike and falling over. He'd get back on his bike again, fell over again. And finally, in disgust, he throws down his bike, starts to cry. Now, his grandfather's watching him from up on the porch. Said, "Son, come here. What seems to be the problem?" He says, "I tried, Grandpa. I tried and I tried and I just can't do it. I can't learn to ride. I quit." He said, "Son, let me explain something to you. Do you know you have two wolves living inside of you?" "That's right. One's a good wolf, one's a bad wolf. Now, the good wolf, he's your biggest fan. He wants nothing more than to see you succeed. He knows that no matter what happens, if you keep trying and never give up, that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And there's the bad wolf. And the bad wolf doesn't even think it's worth trying. It's a waste of time. You're gonna result in failure. Just put the bike away. It's over." And these two wolves are gonna battle back and forth your entire life. And whichever one wins is going to determine the man you become. I want you to listen to the good wolf. Don't give up and go back and get on that bike. He says, "Okay, Grandpa, I will. But can I ask you one thing? How do I know which one of my wolves is going to win?" He said, "That's easy, son. Whichever one you feed. Whichever one you feed." Tonight, my inspirational message is this. So often in life, whatever we focus on is what you get. Focus on the positive. Listen to your good wolf. Toastmaster Elvis, back to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. And to continue with our program, I would like to call now another collaborator who will be our grammarian tonight, Jamie Richardson. And Toastmaster Jamie Richardson is now actually in multiple roles, as you saw originally during the introduction. So our grammarian, Toastmaster Jamie Richardson.
As the grammarian, my role is to listen for improper use of language, so things like but also to look for and listen for really great use of language, a great turn of phrase. So I'll try to find some examples of that as well. My role is also to provide the word of the day. And given our theme on spring, our word of the day is bloom. So I encourage all of our speakers to try to use the word of the day in their comments, whether that's in prepared remarks or in our table topics and impromptu remarks later. A definition for bloom could be, I look forward to seeing all of our Toastmaster speakers bloom as public speakers. And a definition, if you want to apply it, would be to flourish. With that, I will turn it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Elvis.
Thank you, Jamie. And next up is someone who is going to be very important in our meeting because it's going to keep us on time. I would like to call our timer tonight, Toastmaster Andrea Butterfly Williams.
Hello, I am your timer today, and I am Andrea the Chocolate Butterfly. And it's so interesting that I'm doing the time today as we move the time forward. And the flowers are starting to bloom. So for our time speakers today, they are 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 to 7 minutes, make sure this is on because I did not did not check. So I will turn it on green when they hit 5 minutes. I will turn it on yellow when they hit 6. And I will hit the red button when they get to the 7-minute time. Likewise for table topics, they are 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, it will be green. At 1.5, it will be yellow. And at 2 minutes, it will go to red until you complete your speech. And for our evaluators, they are 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, green. See a pattern here. 2.5 minutes, yellow, and 3 minutes, red. So I look forward to hearing all of the speakers as they bloom into being great public speakers.
Thank you, Andrea. And certainly, all the Toastmasters and guests will be blooming tonight with their speeches. Next up is our Ballot Counter, who is our Toastmaster, Connor Wade.
Hello, everyone. I'll be the ballot counter for today. And my role as ballot counter is to come around the room after our round of speeches and collect ballots and count ballots. So for everyone in the room, we only have one speaker and one evaluator for today. So congratulations, David and Eric, you guys win. Oh, that is right. Pending celebration. So as long as for table topics, you can go ahead and rip that off right now if you would like. And after that round, I'll come around. If you guys have a vote, collect the vote, count all the votes at the end, and there will be our suggested winner. Also, for the people on Zoom, if you could, for table topics, go ahead and for your vote, go into Club View and just send a message to Club View with your vote. I will also go around and count those as well and consolidate them for final winner. With that, I'll give it back to Elvis, our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Connor. The blooming spring is the smile of the ever joyful nature. That's a quote from the Vash's Meathead. Now, I would like to introduce you to our next session, one of the most important ones in our meeting tonight, which is the prepared speeches. As you heard, we have only one speaker tonight. He is our immediate past president. He completed a path and is now going into, I believe, into his third path now. He's at level 1 in the new pathway, Effective Coaching. His project belongs to the evaluation and feedback is from 5 to 7 minutes. And the title of his speech is Saying No to the Disruptor. Saying No to the Disruptor. Our speaker tonight, David Jones. Please help me in welcoming with a very big round of applause to our speaker, David Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And before I get started, I just want to, since we have 8 guests, we have 4 on Zoom and 4 in person. This is not usual. There is a daycare center in this building and the church allows us to use the space. Obviously, something's going on with all the beds, but this is not something normal that you will see here. But I just wanted to acknowledge it because it is kind of like the elephant in the room. It's like, why is there so many beds? And that's it. All right, Madam Timer, you ready? All right. All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I have a very happy life. I have a wonderful girlfriend. I have a great job at a great company that I'm very happy with. And recently I got a new bachelor pad. It's kind of a big bachelor pad for one person. It's a nice 2-story, 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage and big backyard with a wooden deck. But it's my place of peace where I love to get home and just be there alone. It's well decorated, and what you don't know about me is I'm very neat and clean. I don't have kids anymore. Well, I have kids. They just don't live with me. They're adults. And I don't have any pets. So my house is immaculate. Everything is put where it's supposed to be put. There's no clutter. There's no papers everywhere. There's no magazines. Everything has its place. And if you go into my closets or pantry, everything's where it belongs. That seems a little over the top, but that's just how I like to live my life. The main thing I like about my house is it's very quiet. Usually about 90% of the time, I don't have the TV on, I don't have the radio on. It's just silence because I like to work in silence. I like to think in silence, to read, to study, to create, and also to work on my speeches. I'm always walking through my house, just talking to myself and just working on speeches. So it is my solitude, my home, where I love to just go home and be there. But recently I had a disruptor come into my life. Disruptor who was there for a week, but after just 2 days, he totally disrupted my house. There was stuff all over the coffee table. My dining room table, where I usually have dinner with my girlfriend, had computers and phones and cords and all sorts of stuff on it. The table in my breakfast nook had medicine and more paperwork. In addition, there was somebody in my guest room and somebody in my guest bathroom. There's just chaos in my house. And as far as the noise go, he made a lot of noise. He had a lot of noises coming out of all sorts of orifices of his body. He had the TV on the whole time. I had the Judge Judy was on 24/7. And it was just chaotic for me. Now, unfortunately, this person was my father. And my father lives up in Boone, and he's retired, but he's an Uber driver. Just gives him something to do, gives him a little money in his pocket. And if you're ever up in Boone, chances are my dad picked you up because there's not a lot of Uber drivers up there. But the past couple of months, he's been having some problems with health. His left leg, he's needed to walk with a cane. And he's been going to the doctors up there for months, and they haven't been able to figure it out. And finally, I said, why don't you come down to Charlotte and go to a doctor here and see if they can figure it out? Because up there, they're like, does it help you when you're walking on the cane? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, well, just keep walking on the cane. That's the, the little different type of doctor up in Boone. But anyways, the doctor here finally found out what was wrong with him. One of the discs in his spinal cord was out of place, and it was pinching a nerve, and that nerve made his leg numb and he couldn't walk on it. So they needed to do a little surgery, cut it open. It was an outpatient, clean it out, fix it, staple it, whatever. I don't know how they do it. Whatever they had to do, but it was a quick operation. And they told me within a couple of days, he'll be fine. So I thought that would be great. After the surgery, the doctor came to me and he said, everything went well. Your dad should be doing backflips and jumping jacks in a matter of days. And I was like, perfect. Then he can go back home. Well, about 5 days later, my dad is still at my house. He's sitting on the sofa. He doesn't use the cane anymore. The surgery was a success. And he started driving. He started going and getting gas and going to the grocery store. And I started thinking, you could probably do this back at your house. You don't need to be sitting here. I'm not helping him. He doesn't need my help. And the tipping point came when he said, let's go back to the house in Boone, get my paperwork, and come back here so I can do my taxes. And I was like, you're going to be home soon. So just do it when you get home. So we had a little disagreement. And finally, he agreed that he was going to leave this past Thursday. He was going to leave. So Wednesday night, we're having dinner, like a celebration. I'm like having a little party. He's leaving tomorrow morning. And he says to me, I'm going to leave a few things here. I'm going to just leave a couple items here because I'm going to come back Sunday or Monday. It's like, what? Why are you coming back Sunday or Monday? He goes, well, just to hang out. I'm just going to hang out here and then see if I can make more money here on Uber. And I was like, no, that's not a thing. No. And it's very difficult to say no to family members. It's difficult to say something to somebody who's a disruptor, because they're disrupting our lives, whether it's a boss or a coworker or a friend or acquaintance or a family member. But when I said no, it's not really a negative statement toward them. It's about saying yes to myself. It's about saying, yes, this is my life. This is the life I've created. This is the life I want to be in. And this is how I want my life and my journey to go. I don't want any disruptor in my life. So I have to say no to the disruptor, even though it does sound personal, but it's a yes to me. Well, fortunately, my house is very quiet and clean right now because the disruptor is back up in Boone. And are you keeping the time? Okay. I thought I was way beyond 5 minutes by now. I know whenever you start practicing for the guests, whenever you practice your speech, you always know where you're at when it comes to that point in time. It's like, I should be at the green. Anyways, where was I? See, I caught myself off guard. So there, mind my own business, do my own job. Point is, Toastmasters, it is difficult to say no to people. But again, just look at it as saying yes to yourself. That's the only way you can do it, because no is difficult, especially to your dad. You have to say, no, you cannot stay here. You have to go home. He's 79. He's bored. He has nothing else to do. And I know he would love to be with me and he'd love to live with me, but that's not going to happen. So just always say yes to yourself and don't think about the no's. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. Great speech. I would like to call upon our timer for the timer's report.
John did the speech in 6 minutes, 30 seconds. I mean, did I say John? David, now I'm getting the wrong name.
Good. Thank you, Madam Timer. Spring is the best life coach. It gives you all the energy you want, all the positive thoughts you wish, and all the boldness you need. That's a quote from Mehmet Murad Yildiz. Next up is one of my favorite sessions during our Toastmaster meeting, is the table topics. Table topics is where both members and guests are invited to speak off the cuff. For that, we will have a Toastmaster who is going to lead that session, and is none other than Toastmaster John Capello.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Greetings once again, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. If you were like me when you first came in the doors here at the Vine, I recall always being uncomfortable, being in that one meeting where someone would randomly call on you. John, what do you think? Or maybe you were at some family reunion and someone said, why don't you give a toast? Some of that uncomfortable feeling that you have is your ability to think in an impromptu way, being put in a position where you're presenting in front of a bunch of others and you have to think logically and collect your thoughts and deliver it. That's what this section of tonight's meeting is all about for you guests. So we encourage both existing Toastmasters and guests to participate. Now, what makes you better as an impromptu speaker? And I would argue it's one thing primarily, it's repetition. You have to come up here. And what happens is, as you continue to do this, you start to feel more comfortable with the uncomfortable, more comfortable with the awkward silence. And what ends up happening is your brain starts to think a little clearer. You start able to collect your thoughts and deliver something in a logical, clear way. That's why we're all here. And it's not like something you can prepare for. speech. You can set everything out. You can't do that with impromptu speaking. And that's what we're going to focus on here today. Now, keeping with tonight's theme, what I have tonight, I'm going to do something a little different. Usually we ask a question and you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond. Tonight, I'm just going to provide quotes about spring. And you're going to answer them in 1 to 2 minutes. It can talk about what that particular quote means to you. You can tell a story. You can talk about something that's semi-related, but not really. You could really, like you have an empty canvas and you're just gonna paint whatever comes to mind. That sounds pretty easy, right? Let's see. I'll give an example. Get my thing up here. Okay, here's a quote. Spring is nature's way of saying, let's party. Robin Williams. I'm from Chicago. And for 3 months out of the year, you never want to leave the house. And I'll never forget the first nice spring day in Chicago. Every single cafe is jam-packed. Nobody wants to sit inside. Love is in the air. All the single people are checking each other out. There is a spring fever buzz going on. And while the flowers are out, the flowers are blooming, there is the air of celebration in the air. It's a fresh start. Winter is finally over. That would be an example. Now, I've got a number of quotes here. Who would like to be the first one to try? I'll come back to Stuart, you're up. All right. You want to? An easy one. Okay. This one's easy. April showers bring May flowers. You can talk about what that means to you. You could talk about a hard time in your life that ended up something positive, or you could just talk about driving in a rainstorm.
Okay, thank you, John. Fellow Toastmasters and honourable guests. May showers brings May flowers can only remind me of my childhood growing up in Scotland, where it rains 350 days a year, not just in May. And there are very few flowers to show for it. It's interesting how big of a role weather and climate can play in life. I feel like hearing John give his experience about Chicago, I can relate to that a little bit. I don't know if people who have grown up in North America truly grasp how much this dictates everything that you can do in life. I have found that not only does the amount of sunlight and the weather genuinely affect people's moods, it affects everything you can do, it affects the economy. Seasonal affective disorder is a huge issue in Scotland, and many of my friends and family members use, the sad lights during the winter to get exposure to the light. It's incredible how big of a difference that this makes in our day-to-day lives. I find coming to America that it's influenced the culture here in a way that people like to be outside. They are happy. They like to go out and do things with their friends. And it dictates the types of events that are put together here. People here literally just have, they need no excuse to put a fun event together just for the sake of having fun, when that sort of thing is actively discouraged, I would say, in Scotland, just because people tend to have this negative outlook in life. I suppose, relating back to John's previous comment, people tend to feed the bad wolf more when their surroundings are grim and grey, and they feed the good wolf more when, skies are sunny and people are happy. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Toastmaster Stuart. Okay, I think we had another volunteer back there. I'm sorry, what was your name again? Is this a guest? Oh, Madeline, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here's the next one. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Lao Tzu. You can use this however you want. You could talk about an experience that came to mind that you thought was painful, it ended up being a blessing, or, any way you'd like to go with it. Madeline, right? Madeline.
I just go by Lynn though. Thank you. So fellow Toastmasters, it brings a story to mind about my experiences over the past year. So last March, I took a new job in sales. Prior to me taking this job, I'd never done sales before. I worked as a project manager. So it was this huge shift in what I was doing because I went from collaborating with my teammates to having to go out and chase business. I taught myself that I was ready for the challenge. I was going to do it, took the job, and then found out I had to get certified. So while I was out there doing sales and all of this, I had to get FINRA certified, which required, the estimate was about 600 hours of studying, right? So I go through all of this studying, I get my Series 7, I won't go through all of the details, but I get it. But this whole time I'm thinking this job is crap, right? Because I'm just like studying, I'm out here chasing business. It's not something that's innate to me. But like Toastmaster John said, I persevered, right? So I kept going, got my certifications, talked to prospects and bombed so many times. And then quite recently, it started to come naturally. So I'm over having conversations. It feels good. The best part is, which I knew was coming, but wasn't quite prepared for, is when I took the job, we were in a work from home posture, so I couldn't do client entertainment. Lo and behold, I'm a party girl and I get to wine and dine people, take them to games and have so much fun doing it. So roundabout way of saying my job was hard in the beginning. I hated it. And lo and behold, it's come to be a blessing in my life and I'm having so much fun. So if you're facing anything difficult, stick with it. The reward is going to come.
Awesome. Thank you, Toastmaster Lynn. See how easy this is? Can I get more volunteers? We have volunteers online. Dr. Harvey, it wouldn't be a successful night if we didn't have Dr. Harvey participating. Dr. Harvey, are you ready for your question or your quote? Sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay. The quote is, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It's an old Chinese proverb. So you can go that in a lot of different ways, Dr. Harvey. You can talk about what that quote means to you. Maybe you can just talk about horticulture and how you like planting trees. The stage is your canvas, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster John Capello. You are my inspiration. You are one of the fellow Toastmasters who improved my speech and changed the course of my life. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and honorable guests online as well as offline. Come on, guys, say something. Raise your hand. Hallelujah. Where's our minister, practicing minister, Andrea? Where's that hallelujah? So fellow Toastmaster and honorable guests, that quote to me means that the best time to do something is in preparation, way in advance. But if you miss that deadline, that window, the next best time is now. It's better now than never. Let me tell you a story about that. Now, as some of you know, I'm running for city councilman for 2023. That's expanding way beyond my comfort zone. No one in my family hold a political office, but I love big challenge. I love to fight the big boy. I was at the park playing basketball with some of the guys who play above the rim. I just love that challenge. I want to pick the biggest, the baddest guy to battle because that's how I'm going to change my life and take my skills to the next level. So in preparation for my campaign in 2023, I'm already launching my own campaign, not official yet, but the work before the campaign or the contest, it has to be started as soon as humanly possible. Conventional wisdom groom you and condition you to begin preparation at the very last minute, but the sooner you prepare, the better it is. For me, that's connecting to various community leader, making sure that my speech, my message, my campaign is very clear, concise, and that there's no ambiguity. And also to making sure that I have the proper resource to launch my campaign so that I don't need your donation. So all of that has to be prepared way in advance. And let's say if I miss the window, or if you in your life, forget about me. My life is too boring. There's nothing interesting about me, but about your life. For me, that is to run for the office in 2023. Now, what about your life? Let's say if you have a goal, if you have something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish, maybe get a higher paying job, maybe start your own business. Forget about a paying job. If you're like me, you like to start your own business, run your own show, be your own boss, call your own shot, and fire whoever in the company you want to. Make sure you just don't hire a family member, because then you cannot fire them for most people. So do it now. Make all the preparation and do it now. And let's say if you're in your 60, 70, forget it. Don't worry about the age. Age is just a number. Just do it. That's the next best time is now. So go ahead and do it. That's all. Back to you, Toastmaster John Capello, and thank you very much.
Is this back on? Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Dr. Harvey, always inspirational for me. Okay, guests, you know why you came here. This is your safe zone right up here. No one will throw a brick at you. We promise you will survive. Who wants to try it? Neil, is that, come on up. All right. I'll know you, some people will have heard this, but I know Dr. Eric will have heard this one. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day, the Temptations. Now you can take that however you'd like. You can talk about the mindset, like it may sound simple of a quote, but thinking about sunshine in your mind, but having a cloudy day outside, but having the right mindset. You can take it however you'd like, but that's just a little gentle prompt for you. Neil, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sean. Sunshine on a cloudy day. Well, hearing one of the table topics earlier about the different seasons in Scotland reminds me of a year I spent in my life in a different part of the world. Here in Charlotte in the United States, we're used to having 4 different seasons. And after college, I signed up to leave the States, and I spent a year doing community service in Nicaragua, which was interesting and different in that they have rainy season and they have sunny season, which I wasn't used to. It wasn't just summer and then fall and then winter and spring, but it was bright and sunny all the time, which was great. I really love that. I love going to the beach. I loved enjoying the sunshine. But then that came to an end and rainy season would start. And it would just rain nonstop. And that was hard to get used to. It affected things differently there also because a lot of the roads weren't paved. And so at least what we would go across would be dirt roads. So everything would be muddy. Everything would be a mess. There wasn't air conditioning where we were staying. So it made everything very humid and damp. And so as you think about the sunshine and that going away, you find that there is sunshine even through all that raininess, figuratively speaking, and that there were other things you could do to enjoy the rainy season. It meant that we spent more time indoors. It meant that we spent more time hanging out with people we necessarily wouldn't have and got to know them better. And so that was a good opportunity for me to meet other people on my project and, in a manner of speaking, find sunshine through all that gloominess. Thank you, John.
Neil, awesome job. Congrats. Good to. Toastmaster Elvis, do you think we have time for one more guest, perhaps? Okay. Any other guests would like to give it a try? I'll try. Come on up. All right. Joy, right? Okay, Joy. Here's another quote for you. If we had no winter, spring would not be so pleasant. Anne Bradstreet. Now you can discuss, for me, and I think about it, it's enduring something difficult makes it attaining the goal that much sweeter. Think about something in your life, something you've accomplished, where that might have been true, or just what the statement means to you. Go ahead, Joy.
Thank you. I can't believe I volunteered. If we had no winter, spring would be that much sweeter. I think about difficult times in my life where I may have been trying to study for a test, and it was very, very difficult, and I needed to pass this test in order to graduate. And studying was very difficult for me, but I made it through. I passed the test, and in the end, I received my diploma. And that was the best reward that I could ever ask for. And it also made my parents very proud, and it made me proud as well. The winter didn't seem as bad, the studying didn't seem as bad, because in the end, I received the reward, which was my diploma and the accomplishment of it. Hopefully that made sense.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. You did exactly what the goal of impromptu speaking and table topics is all about. It's taking that first step, coming into the safe zone, and the more and more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it, and the more you'll improve your skill. So with that in mind, let's Toastmaster Andrew, could we please get a timer's report?
Okay, we all came in hot because we're blooming here right on through this meeting. Stewart was 1 minute 40 seconds. Lynn was 1 minute 15 seconds. Dr. Harvey was 3 minutes. So he is disqualified. Neil is 1 minute 54 seconds, and Joy is 1 minute 23 seconds. Good job, everybody.
Okay, so to remind everyone, for those that are voting, we had Stewart, Lynn, Dr. Harvey, Neil, and Joy. Unfortunately, I do not believe Dr. Harvey qualifies, but all other 4 are eligible for your vote. We will determine who is the winner later from our ballot counter. That's going to wrap it up for me. I hope everyone learned something today, especially our guests, and congrats for those of you taking the leap. I will turn it back to you, Toastmaster Elvis.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster John. And now we are going to go to our evaluation session, one of the most important parts of our meeting. As you know, growth is part of a cycle, and feedback is a very important part of growing. For this session of evaluation, we are going to have our general evaluator, that is none other than Dr. Harvey Trent. Please help me welcome our general evaluator, Dr. Harvey Trent.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elvis. As you guys can see, I'm bouncing back and forth, enjoying myself here on the treadmill desk. I practice what I preach. If I'm going to send in my resignation, I do it right now. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this treadmill desk for me to focus. So my role today as a general evaluator, and I hope that I understand my assignment, because I usually don't. But as a general evaluator, I'm going to evaluate the evaluator, and then I'm going to call for the TMOD report, the grammarian report, and also to give you an assessment of the meeting as a whole. As we only have one speech today, one speaker, correspondingly, we'll have only one evaluator, and that is a gentleman who does not need any introduction. He's the former physician at Ortho Carolina. He's expanding his comfort zone, taking his skills to the next level, finding other interesting avenue in his life. Please give a round hand of applause to Dr. Eric Laxer.
Thank you, Dr. Tran. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and a warm welcome to our speaker this evening, who is also our immediate past president, Toastmaster David Jones. I would like to summarize my evaluation of your speech with 9 letters in 3 syllables. Fantastic. It was fantastic. And I'll tell you why as I focus on your speech title, your topic, your content, the structure, and your delivery. Let's start with your title, Saying No to the Disruptor. Well, there was a movie several years ago called Jerry Maguire that had a classical line, which was, "You had me at hello." And in your case with your title, you had me at no, because just when you start your title with saying no, I think that in and of itself is a really important message for people. And so you immediately gave members of the audience something that we could relate to and something that potentially had value to us in your talk. So I thought your title and your topic were outstanding. I really appreciated your content. You gave us a lesson through storytelling, and by including a story about your father, you made it very personable, which is always very special when you're telling a story. You had some great terms in there that caught my attention. You described your house as this idyllic place, and then you stated that there was chaos in your house when the disruptor moved in. And you also described the disruptor as having noises coming from every orifice of his body, and that is incredibly memorable. But your speech also had an incredible surprise, because up until then, we did not know that the disruptor was your father. And when you introduced him as a disruptor, all of a sudden your speech took on new meaning to me. I thought your structure was very well done. You presented your speech in the form of a timeline, and I thought your delivery was excellent, starting even with before you gave your speech, because you came up here, you took the mic, you walked around the stage, you even cracked a joke about the COTS. And I think when you're delivering a speech to a group of people and you do those things, it immediately makes us recognize that you feel comfortable, and so we feel comfortable. If I were to give you some things that would be things to work on, the only thing I really could think of was maybe at the end of your speech, share with the audience some potential resources, because as you said, it's not about saying no to the person who you're saying no to. It's really about saying yes to yourself. And I never thought of it that way. And it puts a completely different context on that entire topic. And so the next thing I would like to know is, okay, if I have that situation, how do I learn about communicating that message to that particular person? So in summary, you had a great title, great content. You did a great job at storytelling. Your imagery was fantastic. And you left us with a very important lesson. And I gave you a minor suggestion to help take your speech from where it is to see you bloom as a speaker. So back to you, Mr. Evaluator.
Thank you, Dr. Laxer. At this time, I'd like to call on a timer report for the evaluator.
So Eric came in at 3 minutes and 13 seconds. I mean, 2 minutes. Help me. Oh, Jesus, Lord. Now I should have wrote it down. 2 minutes, 3. Yeah, I meant 3 minutes and 13 seconds. I meant that.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Andrea. And at this time, I also like to call on our grammarian for the report, please.
All right, thank you, Dr. Harvey. So fantastic job, everyone. In terms of, I forgot a page. I'll be right back. In terms of folks who used the word of the day, I captured Andrea, Elvis, John, and Eric. So apologies if I missed anybody else. In terms of improper use, not a lot, actually. I was pleasantly surprised on how little folks relied on some of those verbal crutches. So David, I had one across the entire speech, so fantastic job. Eric, one on your evaluation. Stuart, 2 on your table topics. Lynn, 3 on your table topic. Harvey, 1 on your table topic. Neil, only 3. Fantastic job for your first ever table topics. Congratulations. And similarly, Joy, I only had 1 So again, fantastic job. And that's not to say that that's the end all be all, right? So I don't want anyone to take away to be overly focused on verbal crutches. It's just something to keep in mind because it potentially distracts from the message. In terms of some particularly memorable comments from John's speech earlier or his inspirational comments, whichever wolf you feed. That's just a really powerful message. I actually hadn't heard that one before, so maybe you've given it or delivered it here, but there's enough turnover here that it's always fresh next year. And in terms of David, your comment and your sort of key message of say yes to yourself, that one absolutely resonated as well for me as it did for Toastmaster Eric. So that is our message or our grammarian's report for the day. Again, congratulations to all of our speakers. Back to you, General Evaluator Harvey.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jamie. Today, I believe that the theme is a phenomenal theme. And as you guys know, spring is around the corner and all the flowers are blooming. And here I am having all the allergy from it, but I faced my allergy. I walk outside instead of just taking allergy medicine. I decided not to take any of the antihistamine. Now, the other thing about conquering your good wolf versus your bad wolf, that is key to success. I cannot emphasize enough and phenomenal theme and topic today, Toastmaster John, because every day I deal with my bad wolf. It wants to revert to default, and default is a B. It's a B. You guys fill in the blank. To honor Toastmaster Andreas, I will not say the whole word because he's a minister. But anyhow, you have to focus on letting your good wolf thrive, create a thriving environment. Always stay away from default, stay away from the bad wolf. How you stay away from your bad wolf to resonate with Toastmaster John assessment, or rather his message. It's just surround yourself with the right people with different skill set than you, people who want to lift you up and also to help you achieve your goal. Not necessarily people who think and look or do the same thing as you do, because by having complementary skill, you can take your success, your own path, your own process to the next level. So I believe that theme, good wolf versus bad wolf, is very, very important to continually reinforce our message as we take our career or platform, whatever that we want to take this year, 2022, to the next level. And then immediate past President David Jones' speech on the disruptor, it's just phenomenal. Oftentimes in your life, as you can imagine, you have so many proposals for the ladies in the room. There are so many guys asking you out. For the guys, same thing. Many opportunity, many friends asking you, what are you going to do for this weekend, this and that. But the key thing is just you have to say no. A lot of the message that you get is just a disruptor, and it's going to detract you from your own path. Now, even your own family member, your mom and your pop, they love you, your sibling, but they can be a huge distractor to you as well. So don't let no disruptor get the best of you. Learn to say no. By saying no, you saying yes to yourself. And Toastmaster Elvis conducted the meeting just phenomenal. He was very organized, very professional. His speech, the way he conducted himself was with clarity, very, very concise. And I learned a lot from Toastmaster Elvis. Now, the table topic is very, very interesting. We have all our guests did a phenomenal job, very few award, as Toastmaster Jamie said. Also, your response was highly intelligent, and I really enjoyed this meeting. Overall, if I can give this 6 out of 5 star, I would give it 6 out of 5 star, a perfect score to everyone, and congratulations to you all for expanding your comfort zone, for improving yourself, and also for building your skill. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harvey. Excellent and thorough evaluation of the meeting. For now, we are approaching to the end of our meeting. I would like to call our ballot counter to give us the overall results of our preferred speakers of the night. Go ahead, Connor.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elvis. I would like to present the first award to David for the best speaker today. As well as the best evaluator goes to Dr. Eric Laxer. And drum roll, please. For the best table topics, it was very close. Came to the last call of Neil. Congratulations. With that, I'm gonna hand it back to Toastmaster Elvis.
Thank you so much, Connor. And with that, I would like to wrap up before I pass it on to our presiding officer. If there's any club officer that has any announcements at this moment. If not, it's been a pleasure. Spring is officially on in 5 days, so enjoy it. It's going to be a beautiful season. Enjoy it while it lasts. And it's been a pleasure to be your Toastmaster tonight. Back to you, Mr. Presiding Officer Jamie Richardson.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Elvis, on another well-facilitated meeting. Just to plug everyone, we have our next meeting next Tuesday, so go ahead and sign up for roles, right? I think this was another opportunity for us to be reminded of trying to get on the calendar early and book those so that we've got all the roles filled. I would love to get feedback from some of our guests in person, and we'll go on Zoom as well. So let's start, Daryl, with you. If you can, just any initial thoughts or feedback.
Should I stand or doesn't matter?
Yeah, go ahead and stand.
So first and foremost, I'll say for the, what is it called? The table discussions. I wanted to get up and I noticed that like I got nervous to get up and speak, which I don't really know why, but I know that's why I need to be here. So it's definitely gonna be uncomfortable for a while, but I'm kind of excited about it just to be able to step outside of my comfortable shell and like try something new. So I'm pretty excited. I can't lie. I'm pretty excited.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. I'm excited as well. And stick around after if you have any questions around signing up or coming back next time. All right, Casey.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me again, everybody. And I'm in the same place as Daryl, kind of reluctant to get up and speak in front of people. And that's something that I want to be more comfortable doing. So I think this is definitely the right venue to come and do it. And like I said beforehand, I was really impressed with everybody's abilities here. And I hope to be able to learn from all of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Casey. All right, and now Neil, our award winner for the night.
Thank you all for having me again. There goes Num. I'm good at rolling them out. So I've seen 2 meetings online. Just want to say it's as good in person as it is online. I think it's great, impressive that the Toastmaster was, the presiding person was online and able to still conduct a meeting. So I think it's really impressive how well integrated everything is. So thanks again for having me.
All right. Thank you, Neil. I do encourage folks to try to show up in person occasionally if you can, because there's nothing quite like being in front of a large group in person. All right, Joy, feedback.
Thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the speech. It was very engaging. And I would just like to say I'm glad to be here. And the people in the room make it inviting. And I'm looking forward to coming back.
Great testimonial for all those folks on Zoom. It's inviting, so make sure you show up in person next time. All right, for some of our guests on Zoom, any feedback? Go ahead and just shout it out.
I mean, personally, I'm still getting my feet wet. I love what I'm seeing, the interactions and speakers and inspiration, the networking. And I'm looking forward to attend the actual session because I know the feeling could be different. You know, just being behind my camera is different than being on site itself. So I'll be there maybe next week just to get a real feel. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Any other feedback, Edna?
I was gonna say, it was definitely interesting to see just because like there's a format and so forth, because I'd never done Toastmasters before. So I think it's pretty exciting just kind of having the different speeches and then having the opportunities to speak in an impromptu setting. So I think it's definitely an exciting thing to look forward to next week to potentially do in person. So yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
I would also agree. I think it was very organized, and the table topics were fun. I've seen usually questions asked, but it was nice to see kind of a change in using quotes. So I thought that was really cool.
We definitely encourage creativity. Andrea had maybe the best one of all time with the Golden Girls. All right. Well, thank you again to all of our guests. We really appreciated having you here in person and on Zoom. I encourage you to come back to our next meeting next week. If you have any questions about signing up, please reach out to Harvey, who's our VP of membership, or to myself. I'm the treasurer. We're happy to give you more information around what it takes to sign up, as well as get you started down the path of signing up for roles. With that, I don't think there's any other business that we need to cover, so I will adjourn our meeting. Thanks, everybody.